What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? It's your boy Goblin, and today we're coming in with a banger of a video talking about the time that I snorted some perks. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Drop a like if you do. And also, I do want to mention real quick, do not try this at home, especially this video out of all my other ones. Opiates are one of the most dangerous categories of substance that you can mess around with, and by watching this video, I hope you guys are only watching this to be entertained and to learn something about these substances and not to try to replicate this. Seriously. The opiate videos are really only for you guys to listen to and not act on. Hope you guys enjoy. Drop a like if you do. Let's dive right into it. So, ladies and gentlemen, snorting perks. Now, I was chilling in a hotel at this point, but this wasn't part of the hotel series. So this was a completely different thing. And this happened fairly recently. I'm not going to say how recently, but if you guys follow me on Twitter, I tweeted about this, so you probably know. If you don't follow me on Twitter, what the fuck are you doing? Link's in the description. Go follow me on Twitter, guys. I'm like maybe 50 followers off of 11K right now. Go follow me right now. But either way, I was up in a hotel, and I had a court date coming up. So, you know, I'm a little stressed out, and I call up my boy Chris, and Chris is like, hey, dude, let's link up, dude. Let me slide on the hotel. Let's smoke some dope. And I'm like, all right, for sure. And he's like, I got a little surprise for you. And I'm like, what is it? He goes, I got a perk for you. I'm like, oh, my man, right? I'm like, dude, tell me more. Tell me about these. Fill me in on these perks. Where are these coming from? Why do you have perks? Because Chris is not a guy who does opiates. Chris is not a perk user. Like I was excited, but at the same time I was also like, wait, where did these come from? He's like, dude, my mom's got them. She doesn't want them. She sold one to me, right? So I'm like, dude, would she sell me a couple? I'll buy a couple. And he's like, let me ask. I'll call you back. So he hangs up, calls me back like 20 minutes later. He's like, yeah, dude, she'll sell you a few. So I'm like, oh, for sure, dude. Let me get like 2 or 3 of them. So he's like, all right, I'll just bring a few over. I'll be there in a bit, right? So I'm chilling in my hotel room. I'm smoking some dope, and I'm in a no smoking room, right? However, the fire alarm in here doesn't seem to react to the smoke, and I don't really know how fire alarms work. I guess from what I have heard, they act like they detect carbon monoxide or something. And I guess that's not in normal smoke. So it didn't go off, so I wasn't really stressing. But everything in this room was like, you know, wood floors, like hard countertops. So I wasn't worried about the smell of smoke really sticking in here. And this was a hotel that I'd been in many a times and was known pretty well for just being the spot to get lit. Like, you could smoke in the rooms, even though they were no smoking, nobody cared, right? So I'm chilling here for a little bit, and finally, Chris pulls up. I shake him up. I'm like, dude, it's been a minute. Great to see you. Come on into the hotel room, right? So he comes in. We already got some blunts. We got some bud. I'm like, dude, you should roll some bud up. He's like, all right, for sure. I got him on rolling assignment. And what do you know? Kevin calls me. Now, Kevin's another very common character in my stories. And Kevin had just happened to get off work. He's like, yo, dude, what are you on right now? And I'm like, dude, I'm up in the hotel. You should slide. So Kevin's like, all right, for sure. So Kevin comes through. So by the time Kevin gets there, the blunt was already done and rolled. And Kevin walks in, and we spark up that blunt almost immediately. We're all chilling, chatting, having a good time smoking this blunt. And finally, as we're smoking the blunt, Cody's like, oh shit, I forgot. And at this point, I'd forgotten too. I didn't even remember the perks. And he pulls the baggie out, and he hands it to me. And there's these 3 beautiful little perks. They're not 30s. They were only 10s, right? So he brought 3 of them because he was going to give me 1 and then I was going to buy 2. So I got 3 in total. So I was like, dude, dope. And I'd done perks in the past. I'd done higher dosage perks than 10s. So I wasn't really that concerned about these. You know, I already knew what I was doing. And I'm not like an experienced perk user, but I'd done them before. This wasn't a first, right? So either way, he passes this bag to me. I hand him over the money to give to his mom later. And I'm like, dude, tell her I said thank you for real. Because real perks are not the easiest thing to find. You know, like straight up prescription perks are not the easiest thing to find, you know. They can be a little tricky, at least in my area. So for him to come through with these was a big blessing. So I'm smoking this blunt, and I pop 2 of them right away. I pop 2 of them. And I'm like, for sure, dude, I'm about to be feeling great. And I still have this third, and I'm trying to figure out what to do with it. You know, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to let these 2 hit, let time progress, and just chill out a little bit. You know, and we'll see how I'm feeling on the third one a little later, right? So I'm chilling. Me, Kevin, and Chris are all smoking in the hotel room, and we're having a jolly old time, right? Maybe an hour and a half goes by. I've got my PlayStation hooked up. We're watching YouTube videos, and there's this one YouTuber. We like dove into this weird rabbit hole of YouTube, and we were watching like stealth camping videos, is what it's called, where these people like sleep in their cars in like public parking lots and shit. And it's really funny because we all came to the conclusion that like these guys are just homeless, essentially. Like they're just glorified homeless people, you know, which was hilarious because we were all stoned out of our minds. And as we're sitting there watching this, I'm sitting back in this desk. My buddy Kevin is sitting on the foot of my bed, and then Chris is sitting in another chair that's kind of like across the room, right? And finally, these two perks start to hit me, and I remember just feeling so fucking stuck, dude. So stuck, dude. And I'm sitting here, and I'm chilling, dude. I'm absolutely cloud nine bliss, dude. I'm sitting here watching this show, and you know, perks are way more of a physical thing than a mental thing. Like mentally, I actually get a little aggravated off perks, dude. I get a little pissed off the perky, dude. I don't know about you guys, but later in the night, Kevin and there was another guy who came through a little later who we'll get to in a little bit. They got in an argument, or not even an argument. They were just having like some back and forth conversation that was really stupid. And I got so irritated. I was like, dude, if both of you don't shut up, I'm going to kick you the fuck out of this hotel right now, dude. I was pissed. I was so irritated over their argument because they wouldn't stop bickering, dude. It was the most irritating thing ever. And normally I'm not irritable like that. I'm very chill. But the perks, dude, the perks make me a madman, dude. The perks piss me off. I don't know what it is. It's ugly, dude. Let me know in the comments for those of you guys who have experience with this. Do perks piss you off too, dude? Because, hey, dude, they get me mad. But either way, we're chilling for a little bit. These two perks hit, and I'm feeling amazing. We smoke another couple bowls, and I'm feeling even better. I'm feeling like I'm on cloud nine because we're smoking some dispo weed, and in particular, a strain called Mr. Clean. This strain, holy fuck, guys. It wasn't the highest percentage of THC, and it was a hybrid, but the smoke and the smell and the flavor was so good that it just amplified the feeling of the perk. And I was flattened. I was absolutely stuck. Finally, Chris is like, yo, dude, I got another friend. What are we going to call him? We're going to call him Carl. He's like, I got another friend named Carl. Can Carl come through? I'm like, yeah, dude, that's fine. You know, I'd met Carl in the past. I don't think he'd been in any of my videos, but I'd met him. So another 30 minutes go by. Carl gets there, right? At this point, I still have my third perk, and I'm trying to decide what I'm going to do with it, whether I'm going to save it or what. And Carl gets there. He shakes up with me. He's like, oh, shit, it's been a minute, man, and we're chatting a little bit. We all go inside the hotel room, and I'm like, fuck it. I'm snorting it. So I take this pill. I put it on the table, put my phone on top of it, crush it up. And I also put a bill on top of the pill and under my phone, right? You always want to do that just to kind of control the shatter of the pill, I guess. But perks aren't the hardest pill of all to crush. I found Xans are one of the harder pills to crush compared to perks. Perks aren't that hard to crush. So I crushed this little perk 10 up, and man, let me tell you guys, there's a lot of powder in this thing. Like, it produced a lot more that had to go up my nose than I really like predicted at all by looking at this thing. And they aren't tiny pills. Like, they're tiny little, almost like football shapes. They're not tiny pills. But nevertheless, I crushed this thing up, and there's just a mound of powder under this bill. I lift my phone up once I'm, you know, content with how much I'd crushed it, and I lift this bill up, and there's just a mound of powder. So I'm like, oh, fuck. So I pull out my ID, and I'm kind of chopping it up, separating it, and I've just got a bunch of lines of this shit. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to go for it. I had done no research. I'd never snorted a perk before. And one thing I'm going to tell you guys right now, do not snort perks. I didn't do a ton of research before or after doing this. This video is completely based on my experience, so don't use this as like informational and educational necessarily, all of what I'm saying, only some of it. However, from what I could gather, perks are not water soluble, because I'll tell you right now, I start railing them, and I don't notice it at first. They go up just fine. It didn't even hurt that bad either. Like, it didn't really taste that bad. It was like a very fine, almost like sticky, like floury kind of substance. It was weird, the powder they make, not a normal like pill powder. It's kind of not flour, but you guys know what I mean, like a weird kind of thicker powder. It's kind of strange. But I start snorting it, and as soon I rail like probably half the pill worth of powder, 2 lines in each nose, really long lines, or 2 lines in each nostril, pardon me, fairly long lines. And I take a little break, and I inhale, right? And for those of you guys who don't know this trick, there's a little trick. If you take your three of your fingers, the middle three fingers on your hand, put them on your cheekbone, and you pull your cheekbone away from your like nose, like to the side, and then you inhale. It's a little pro tip that'll help you clear up your nasal cavity and inhale a lot better. So for those of you guys who understand what I just said there, you know, good for you. Give it a go. For those of you guys who don't, maybe, you know, go back like 15 seconds, try that again. I picture a lot of you guys just like rubbing your fucking cheekbones right now, and it's really cracking me up, but I'm trying not to laugh. But no, I'm not kidding. It's a legit trick. But either way, back on topic. So I'd railed about half of this pill, and I'm trying to figure out, oh, damn, you know, how am I feeling? And almost immediately, I chalked this up to a placebo effect, right? Because there's no way it hit me this quickly. But I just kind of felt this, like, in me. And, I kind of felt almost like my thirst just got quenched, dude. My perky thirst just got quenched, right? Even though I know deep down that might have been my inner coke addict just being relieved that more powder went up my nose for the first time in a long time. But we aren't going to speak too much on that. But nevertheless, I go sit back down, right? I kind of like got up and like took a little stroll around the room, and I'm like, I'm feeling refreshed. And I go sit back down and I rail the rest of this thing. And maybe another like 30 minutes go by, and I'm chilling hard. I'm big chilling. And it definitely hit me faster and differently. Like I noticed being hit by the perk that I snorted. I noticed just being completely floored after I railed this third perk. I was sitting in this chair completely stuck. And man, I wasn't nodding off. I was wide awake, but I was just chilling, dude. And then all of a sudden, Kevin and Carl start going back and forth about some stupid fucking topic. And Kevin is trolling the hell out of Carl. And Carl is too high to realize. And like Kevin had a fucked up hand, and Carl's like, how'd you break your hand? And Kevin's like, oh, dude, I fell off an elephant at the circus. And Carl's like completely taking this seriously. He can't believe it. He's like, really, dude? Kevin's like, yeah, dude, I was at a circus audition. And at first me and Chris are like dying. But it keeps going. And then they start arguing. And then it turned into this back and forth where I couldn't take it anymore. And the inner perky kicked in. And I just yelled. I was like, both you guys, shut the fuck up, or you're going outside for like 5 minutes, dude. I'm sick of it. The inner perky sent out the rage. The opioid rage came out of me strong, okay? It was pretty wild. But after that, they both kind of shut up about it. I hopped on some GTA on my PlayStation. We all just kind of kept smoking some bowls, passing some blunts around, and having a good night. Nobody really drank or anything. We didn't really do anything else. And I was the only one who was really on anything except weed. But it was a really fun, chill night. And I had a good time. And I made sure that I stayed up really late that night until most of the perk wore off. And it took quite a while, man. I remember I ended up popping it around like maybe 6, 7 o'clock, and I stayed up really late that night, man. I stayed up till like 3 in the morning, man. But nevertheless, it was a really fun night. After that happened, everything chilled out, and eventually Chris had to go, so Carl went with him, and then it was just me and Kevin. Me and Kevin smoked a couple blunts, watched a couple more of these funny fucking YouTube videos. We binged a bunch of live PD, like me and my homies always do. Finally, I dap up with Kevin, he goes home, and I'm chilling in the hotel room. I lay in bed, and I'm debating on going to bed, but for some reason, I just couldn't do it. Like, I just didn't feel like going to bed because smoking felt so good. Smoking was like a perfect harmony with this, right? So I ended up staying up, like I said earlier, all the way until like 2 or 3 in the morning instead of like 12:30 when I laid down, because I just kept packing up bowls and smoking. And I had like a half ounce this night, and I smoked all of it. To the dome. It was gone. And that's not like a crazy amount, but out of this little bowl that I had, because I ran out of blunts pretty quick, I was stoned. I went well past the point of like not feeling it anymore. It was ridiculous. But either way, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Drop a like if you did. Get ready for tonight's stream and tomorrow's upload. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you guys next time. Peace.